What if I told you that the 19th of December 2025 could be marked in history as the moment humanity came closest to a unique cosmic discovery? It might sound like an exaggeration, but it's not. An object arriving from outside our solar system is almost making an important passage near our sun, and it doesn't behave like a common rock floating through space. It sparks curiosity, it questions our certainties, and for some, it even causes fear. You already know which one it is, don't you? Its name is 3IATLAS, and nobody knows for sure what it is. There are autonomous channels that are daily monitoring 3IATLAS. This is the case with the RAY's astrophotography channel, which recently, through its photographs and footage, analyzed that the object is rotating while moving. Anomalous characteristics of 3IATLAS. Unlike everything we've observed before, this object wasn't born in our system. It doesn't follow known gravitational rules. It has no visible tail like most comets. And worse, it seems to accelerate without apparent reason. For most people, this is still a strange and technical name, but for those who study the cosmos, 3IATLAS is a complete anomaly. It is the third interstellar object ever recorded crossing the solar system. The first was 1 Oumuamua in 2017, an object that also brings confusion and debate to this day. The second, 2 Borisov, seemed like a more traditional comet but caused quite a stir. The third, nobody can explain the origin of the name. The 3I means precisely third interstellar, and the name Atlas is the system that detected it in Chile. It's the English acronym for the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, a substantial name for a system created to track threats. But what they found didn't seem like a threat. It seemed more like a warning. Anomalies that challenge physics. Since its identification in 2023, 3ATLAS has become an object of intensive observation by observatories around the globe. Each new measurement, however, only deepened the mystery. The collected data reveals behaviors that contradict our understanding of celestial mechanics. Irregular luminous variation. Its luminosity oscillates inconsistently with natural rotation. Absence of conventional rotation. It doesn't present the characteristic rotational movement of rocky bodies. Anomalous acceleration. It demonstrates velocity changes without identifiable energy source. Gravitationally independent trajectory. Its route remains unaltered even under gravitational influence of massive bodies. Persistent rectilinear movement. It maintains a direct course, ignoring expected orbital perturbations.
This last characteristic is particularly disconcerting. Comets and asteroids naturally alter their trajectories when interacting with stellar and planetary gravitational fields. Additionally, comets develop characteristic tails when heated by solar radiation. 3IATLAS simply doesn't do any of this. That's why two big questions arise among scientists. Is it natural or is it artificial? This December 2025, it will reach a point of maximum approach to the Sun. This will allow Earth's largest observatories and probes to analyze it with everything we have that's most advanced. Radio telescopes, infrared sensors, spectrometers, magnetic detectors, everything will be focused on it. Possible discoveries. The hope is to discover its composition. If it's made of rocks and ice like other interstellar comets, we'll have another important piece of the cosmic puzzle. But some hope to find metallic elements or other compounds that don't exist naturally. Signal emissions, something that only intelligence could generate. Mysterious connections. During its initial passage, some observatories captured noises and signals that, coincidentally or not, emerged near its route. Theorists linked these signals to the famous WOW event, captured in 1977, which to this day hasn't been explained and came from the same region where 3IATLAS arrived from. Speculative theories. Could 3IATLAS be a new attempt at contact? Others suggest it might be a probe sent centuries, perhaps millennia ago, by some advanced civilization. Something that crossed the interstellar vacuum silently, just observing, a type of messenger. The scientific perspective shift. This idea may seem absurd to many, but it's no longer considered impossible. Today, even the most skeptical scientists admit there are many things out there we still don't understand. And if 3IATLAS has artificial behavior, then everything changes. The scientific community is divided. Some say it's just another natural body with different characteristics.
That everything can be explained by physical effects? Others aren't so sure. Anomalous evidence. When we put everything on the scale, it's impossible to ignore that this object has no tail, doesn't rotate as it should, accelerates without apparent reason, emits brightness patterns that don't repeat, follows an almost straight route, something extremely rare in the cosmos. For defenders of the artificial hypothesis, this data is clear signs of a created artifact, perhaps to observe, perhaps to test, or even to signal that they know we're here. There's also deep discomfort with the implications of what we're observing. Consider this scenario. On December 19th, 3IATLAS emits a pulse, a clear, unequivocal signal, impossible to explain by natural phenomena. How would our civilization process this information? The reaction would be predictable and chaotic. Social media, explosion theories, panic, and speculation would spread faster than any scientific analysis. Institutional silence. Governments and space agencies would probably invoke national security protocols. Suppression of discovery. The most significant revelation in Mind 40 human history could be buried under layers of bureaucracy and fear. The paradox is cruel. We seek answers about our cosmic solitude, but when they might finally arrive, our first instinct is to silence them. Perhaps it's not the universe that isn't ready for contact. Perhaps it's us. And what if nothing special happens? What if 3IATLAS is just another space rock with some weird characteristics? Well, at least this time we won't be able to say we weren't looking. We have more telescopes, more sensors, more computational power pointed at this object than any previous generation could dream of. It's like shouting to space, "Hey, we're here and we're paying attention," even if nobody on the other side is trying to talk to us. But what if we're completely out of the loop? What if this object is trying to tell us something and we simply don't know how to listen? Humanity has a history of ignoring the obvious until it's too late. Are we going to do this again? Or this time will we be ready to hear what the universe has to tell us? The reality is that we occupy only a small point in a much larger system where we are simultaneously observers and observed. The cosmos doesn't recognize our centrality. It simply exists, and we try to understand it. 3IATLAS will complete its passage, generating terabytes of data, light spectra, and calculated trajectories. The fundamental question is, how will we process this information? Will it be just more entries in astronomical catalogs, or will it represent a qualitative leap in our understanding of the universe? Only time will reveal the true impact of this visit. Meanwhile, we remain with the questions that drive science. Is our cosmic solitude real, or does this rocky fragment traveling at 40 kilometers per second through the interstellar void carry something beyond minerals and ice? It might be that it carries information encoded in its very structure, a natural archive from another solar system. On the 19th, will you be actively observing the skies, or will you trust third-party reports about what crossed our field of vision?